Okay, it says we're live. That's sometimes a lie, though. I think we're actually live.
I think how we're gonna do this is we're gonna do we're gonna start with the home opener, and then we're just gonna go.
Are we doing it the way that Playoff
Monday
Predictor
Night
has
Football
it?
this week.
So
Monday is Oh, okay. We'll do the we'll go down from till the Titans, and then we'll go the AFC, and then we'll go NFC, and then we'll end on Monday.
Okay.
The Monday game. Okay.
So we start home opener, then we go down AFC, NFC, NFC, right? Then
Yeah.
Monday?
So we're gonna go. Yeah, there's AFC versus NFC thing. So
yeah.
The AFC has Bills, Rams, Jags, and all that. We're gonna go down until we hit the Titans, Giants. When we hit them, we're gonna go to the AFC after that, and then talk about all of them until the Chargers. Then we'll go to the Niners, stop at the Buccaneers, and then we'll end on Seattle.
Okay.
Seattle. That makes sense?
Yep, that makes sense.
Somewhat. We'll get it as we go.
Yeah. All right. So.
So are we live?
With the
Yep, we're live.
Let's get started with the Bills, Rams, and ooh, this is a weird one. I have other matchups. Yeah, I do. I have other matchups this week. Jack, you can take this one because it's weird.
Okay. Obviously, this one is going to be incredibly close. It's versus probably two of the best teams in the league. Both are probably top five. Pretty much everybody thinks both are top five. I think both have certain issues going on with injuries. Tre'Davious White, Van Jefferson. But for now, I'll give the slight edge to the Rams. I'm going to give it to them because they got a little bit of momentum. They're playing at home, unveiling the Super Bowl banner. Buffalo will be without Tre'Davious White, so they may be able to take advantage of that with Cooper Kupp and A-Rob, though it will be harder without Van Jefferson. And Buffalo's definitely going to be able to keep up with them offensively. I think the Rams will make one extra defensive play to get the job done ultimately. But this one's honestly a coin toss. It could go either way. But for now, I'm going to stick with the Super Bowl champs and go with the Rams. What about you, Josh?
Well, this took a lot of time for the OBJ Bowl, but I think that I got to go with the Bills here. I think Von Miller gives them the edge, along with I don't trust Stafford because of his arm, and also because of the Rams. They don't look as hungry this year compared to years prior, where they were fighting for a Super Bowl. Now they've won it. I don't see the same hunger, so I think Bills are hungry and they're going to win. Zach?
I have the Rams. They just came off of a Super Bowl. There won't be any Super Bowl hangover or anything like that. No bad start. I think that they're just gonna come in, just beat their first team. To show that the reason why they won the Super Bowl, they beat the best AFC team allegedly right now. So, yeah. All right. Our next matchup is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Washington Commanders. First time ever that they're going to be having that name. Josh.
Can we just call this matchup a tie?
Nope.
I don't. Dang it, I have to choose a team. Fine, we'll go with the Jaguars because they look better and they have a young core, and I think Peterson's going to get a win in his first game. Zach, what are your thoughts on this freaking game?
I love this game. Just saying, it's going to be an amazing match. If you're thinking it's not going to be, you're wrong.
Oh, shut up, Zach.
It's an amazing match. What? It's actually going to be a horrible match, which is good. With this, I'm going to say the Commanders win. They have a better defense than the Jags. Also, Ron Rivera has been there a lot longer for the Commanders than the Jags with Doug Peterson. I think that extra a year of coaching or extra 2 years of coaching would help them a lot to get pushed to winning this game. What about you, Jack?
This one's close, but for now, I'm also going to lean Commanders. This is going to be a gross game. Jacksonville's got a lot of new pieces, so I think it will take a little bit of time. But then at the same time, Washington has some new pieces on offense as well with the Carson Wentz situation. Antonio Gibson may or may not get carries. There's just a lot of questions, but overall, I think Rivera's experience and his defense, while they won't have Chase Young, most of that unit's been together for a little bit longer than the Jacksonville has. Jacksonville will pick it up eventually, but I think ultimately here, Commanders' experience and time together will put them over the top for now.
All right, cool. All right, let me actually select my teams real quick. Our next matchup is a revenge game for Baker Mayfield, and it's going to be the Panthers versus the Browns. And since the weird quarterback for the Browns that's suspended right now, Deshaun Watson, was on Josh's team. Josh, you can take this one.
Oh, thanks a lot, Zach. Okay, so I was going to say the Browns here, but I got the Panthers. As much as I think that the Browns will put up a fight, I think that the Panthers with a healthy CMC and Baker Mayfield looking to have some revenge, I think that they're winning this matchup. Jack, what are your thoughts on the game?
I'll also go Panthers. Well, the Browns are talented. They have Jacoby Brissett, and not to mention the Panthers have the most powerful player in the league in CMC weeks 1 through 3, so I don't know what's not to like about them. This is the time where they're going to be flying high, and ultimately I have to give the win to them here. Baker Mayfield will win his revenge game. What about you, Zach?
It's going to be a blowout. Baker's going to have so much resentment for the Browns for trading him for Deshaun. I feel like he's just going to blow this team out of the water. So I'm going to go Panthers. All right, our next matchup is my favorite matchup of the week, and it's the Arizona Cardinals versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And for this one, I'm going to go Cardinals with Hollywood, Rondale, and AJ Green. That core enough will be able to defeat the Kansas City defense. And our defense can hold up against Juju, which is dealing with a calf injury. Sky Moore's a rookie, and I feel like our pressure will also get there. Now, J.J. Watt might not play, but that's fine. Zach Martin's been doing pretty well. Cameron Thomas has been really well. Our safeties have been really good. Jalen Thompson and Budda Baker. I think the Cardinals don't have an easy win. This is going to be a freaking fireworks show, but Cardinals will start week 1 with a dub. All right. Yeah.
This one should be an interesting matchup. A lot of offensive points here, but for now, I'm also going to give the edge to the Cardinals. I think the Chiefs, they have a lot of moving pieces right now. Trey Smith and Juju Smith-Schuster are a little banged up in practice. Juju has a knee injury. I think that's definitely not going to help. The Chiefs also tend to have slow starts on defense, and I think that Kyler and Hollywood's natural chemistry from college is going to start to kick in. I think the Cardinals will be able to out-offense the Chiefs here and get the dub week 1 in Arizona. What about you, Josh?
I gotta say Cardinals too. They usually have these good starts. And Zach, do you mean Zach Allen, not Zach Martin?
Oh yeah. Zach
Okay.
Allen. My bad.
Because I was
I
wondering
thought
if you guys signed Zach Martin out of nowhere. But yeah, so I got Cardinals. I think, like everyone said, and also they have really good starts at the beginning of the season. So I think this season will be no different with their week 1 win.
All right. Titans versus Giants. What, Jack? Since they're like New York. Oh no. Nope. Josh.
Titans. Okay, so I think the Titans are winning here. Even though the Dable seems like a really good coach, I don't think that they have the facilities yet to beat a team like the Titans, who are dark horse Super Bowl contenders. So, Titans for me. Zach?
What universe are they a dark horse Super Bowl contender? It's not in this one. Titans though, they have a really nice core. Derrick Henry is gonna go off on this team. I thought about Giants, but I also thought like Kayvon Thibodeau might not play, and there's a lot of problems. So I'm gonna go Titans.
I also have to go Titans here. Well, I think this Giants team has a brighter future ahead of them. It's definitely not this year. While the Titans did lose Harold Landry in the pass rush as their main pass rusher outside of Jeffrey Simmons, overall, they'll still be able to do enough to destroy the Giants' interior offensive line. I think they'll have a lot of trouble. The Giants don't have any CBs, and the Titans don't have any high-end receivers just yet, so I think that'll kind of cancel out. But ultimately, Derrick Henry in the run game will probably just be able to run up the middle consistently. And while I'm not a huge fan of the Titans compared to past seasons with them, I still think they'll be able to beat teams like the Giants, especially week 1 with a new coaching staff. that could be a rough start for the Giants to open up the season. I'm taking the Titans.
All right, cool. Yeah, now we got the Texans. Texans Colts. So, Josh.
I gotta go with Colts here. The Colts I could see the Texans winning if Dameon Pierce is as good as advertised as he was in the preseason. But I don't care who the freak is in the stands. I don't care if we have the Uvalde High School football team in the stands. We're not winning this game by any sleight of the imagination. We've been blown out by them week after week, year after year, and there is no turning back. The Colts have just gotten better, and the Texans have gotten a little bit better. Especially with the Mechie leukemia stuff. Hopefully he recovers soon. I don't see them winning at all. I'm going to hand this off to Jack.
I also have to take the Colts here. This Texans team has made progress in the offseason, but ultimately I think the Colts are still a very high-end team. I think they'll eventually come out on top in the AFC South. Got a lot of faith in JT in the run game to sort of be their anchor this year, but they also got some solid playmakers with Michael Pittman catching the balls from Matt Ryan now, so that's an upgrade. And they also have a really good defense, and I think that they'll be able to take advantage of that. Against the Texans here, Texans could have an outside shot because it's a division rival, but ultimately I think that the Colts are just more talented at this point. Is take them on the road for the Week 1 win. What about you, Zach?
I gotta go Colts also. This is the actual dark horse Super Bowl contender, not the Titans. With this, I think that the Texans really don't have a chance against this team unless, like, Matt Ryan really has a bad game. But other than that, I think that a lot of pieces are going to be clicking, and I think that JT will go ballistic on this team. So cool. Our next matchup is really kind of interesting. Is the Steelers-Bengals. They play each other every year, but this is a really going to be a good matchup. And I'm going to hand this one off because I feel bad. Jack.
I have to take the Bengals here. Home opener. This team did fall short in the Super Bowl, but ultimately I still think they're one of the most talented rosters in the leagues. Well, I'll give credit to the Steelers. Their defense should be able to keep them in this game, theoretically. They still don't have enough cornerback depth at all to keep up with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd at the same time. Ultimately, the Bengals are just better built right now, not to mention newly starter Mitch Trubisky for the first time of starting in over a year. He hasn't started since his time in Chicago, behind one of the worst offensive lines in the league. And while the Bengals pass rush isn't like super elite, top 5 or anything, they have good players all around, and I think their D-line is solid enough to be able to beat that Steelers' really bad O-line this year. So I have to go with the Super Bowl runner-ups here to win Week 1 home opener in the Cincinnati Bengals. What about you, Zach?
I have the Bengals here, and the sole reason, I believe TJ Watt's not going to be playing this game. That's a huge piece on that defense, and he can change a game just by his presence. With this, other people are going to have to sorry about that, have to step up, and I don't think anybody will. I mean, they got the Hayward, but that's it on the D-line. So I got to go Bengals. They're also going to be wanting revenge because of they almost won the Super Bowl, so yeah. All right, Josh.
I gotta go with Bengals. There's really no other right answer. I think Najee and their defense will keep them in the game, but I don't see them doing much against Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
Cool. Let me just fill this out real quick, and then we'll get to the next team. So yeah, and then last one. Jack was Bengals. All right. Let me just this thing real quick.
Yeah, we've had a lot of clean sweeps, so.
Yeah, it's been mostly clean sweeps. So now we have the Jets, Ravens, which Joe Flacco is going to be facing them, not Zach Wilson. Jack, you want to talk about that?
All right. So for this one, I have to go with the Baltimore Ravens. I do have optimism for the Jets because of their good offseason. The Baltimore Ravens are just the embodiment of all the Jets' weaknesses on defense, run game, and ability to cover tight ends. Well, I think that could be improved. I don't think it's going to be enough to contain Mark Andrews. He's going to be a problem. Whoever's running the ball for them, J.K. Dobbins, Kenyon Drake, Mark Davis, it doesn't really matter, or Mike Davis from the Falcons a year ago. It doesn't matter. I don't think the Jets can stop the Ravens' run schemes. They're really elaborate, And I think that nobody on the Jets is stopping Lamar at this point. Well, I think they can hold up against those receivers. They're not going to be able to do enough in the run game. And Joe Flacco, well, I think he could have a spark occasionally. It's not going to be enough to beat his former team that knows him best. They're also playing against the best secondary, arguably one of the best secondaries in the league, led by healthy Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, Kyle Hamilton, we don't know yet, but Marcus Williams. That's 3 solidified high-end starters in the secondary. I just don't think the Jets have the personnel to handle a team like the Ravens, especially when they're 100% healthy week 1. What about you, Josh?
I see a universe where the Jets beat the Ravens, but unfortunately this is not that universe. I'm going to go with the Ravens here. I think that they are going to be on a revenge tour after having so many injuries happen to them. So, yeah, Ravens week 1.
Yeah, I also have to go Ravens. It's kind of easy. Like Jack said, their biggest flaws on their team is trying to stop tight ends. Mark Andrews is arguably the best tight end in the league right now.
Don't forget about Isaiah Likely.
But like it's mostly gonna be Mark Andrews. Not Isaiah Likely. He was a nice preseason thing, but the other thing is yeah, they also have a problem stopping the run. I think that'll be a little bit better this year, especially having what's that guy's name?
Carl Lawson or Jermaine Johnson?
Both of them, yeah. Both of them, like, just having both those two will help a lot trying to stop the run. But, yeah, you may be able to contain Lamar because C.J. Mosley's going to be there too, back. But, yeah, I got to give it to the Ravens just because of how many problems Joe Flacco's going to have. And that's going to be the leading thing for the Jets is Joe Flacco's going to have a lot of problems. All right. Next matchup is the Patriots versus the Dolphins. I'm expecting a sweep here, but Jack, what are your opinion?
AFC East battle. I'll have to give it to Miami this time. I'm just not that high on the Patriots this year. While Miami has a lot of moving pieces, ultimately they have a lot of speed, and the Patriots lost J.C. Jackson. All sorts of cornerbacks disappeared. They tried to bring back Malcolm Butler. I don't know where he went. I think he got retired or injured or something, but he's not playing. So ultimately, Tua, Tyreek, and Jalen Waddle against those corners are probably going to destroy them realistically on the offensive side. And then there's all sorts of questions going on with the Patriots offense. Who's calling plays? The receivers are not great, and the Dolphins do have a great set of corners in Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. So ultimately, the Patriots, well, they know the Dolphins. The Dolphins seem to own them in the last couple years, especially in Miami. So I think this trend is going to continue. I see a Miami victory here. I just can't see the Patriots being able to outdo Waddle or Tyreek on defense or keep up with it, even if they are able to. What about you, Josh?
The Patriots have too many questions for me to choose them right now. I need to see them in a game, and especially against Mike McDaniels in his first game, and Tua, who's already 3-0 against them. I don't see them winning at all. So, give me the Dolphins here. Zach?
Dolphins. I mean, having the speed of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle will already, boost their chances of winning. Having those two guys just completely healthy, they'll be able to just destroy whatever that Patriots secondary is now. It's not going to be pretty. Dolphins win by a lot. Alright, our next matchup is this is one of the more interesting matchups. It's the Raiders-Chargers. Now, Josh, you want to say something about this?
Yeah, sure. I don't see the Raiders winning. I think that the Chargers are going to wipe the floor with them. I think it's going to be a 2 or 3 score game, and the Chargers with Brandon Staley are just going to show why they're going to run the West this year. Zach, what are your thoughts?
I'm probably going to go Raiders. I think acquiring Devontae Adams and no J.C. Jackson there will be a huge threat to the Raiders thing, and it's going to be a hard thing to cover. I know that they have good corners, but J.C. is kind of one of the only corners that I trust to cover arguably the best wide receiver in the league. So, yeah, I gotta go Raiders. Eric?
I think this one's going to be a good matchup, but ultimately I think the Chargers are going to come out on top. I think J.C. Jackson being gone definitely helps the Raiders' case because that means Derek Carr will be able to get to the ball out to Devontae Adams more. And I think ultimately the Chargers' offense is going to give the Raiders' defense, definitely give them some trouble. Pass rush should keep them in the game for the very least. But I think ultimately the Chargers' pass rush could give some trouble for the Raiders' O-line, who do not have a lot of pieces working in their favor, especially on the outside. So ultimately, I expect a competitive game, but ultimately I think the Chargers are going to be able to redeem themselves from the horrible loss at the end of last season to miss the playoffs. I'll take them to win here.
Okay. Next matchup is the San Francisco 49ers versus the Chicago Bears. If you guys say Bears, I swear. I'll go first. I'm saying Niners. It's kind of obvious. Their defense is just going to eat freaking Justin Fields alive. And then Trey Lance just has to do a little bit on offense just to win. Not even him. They could just give the ball to Debo. Entire game. It would be fine. I don't see there any way of winning unless freaking Justin Fields just turns ballistic this season. But I don't think that's going to happen. So, Niners. Jack, I should know your answer.
This is also going to be San Francisco's 49ers victory. I can go into the Bears all day. They have so many issues, and while the Niners, they have issues of their own. The question mark of Trey Lance, will George Kittle play? I don't think any of that's going to make a difference when you have the tackles that the Bears do against the pass rush and the 49ers. That alone is going to make the game unwatchable. The defense is going to just be able to take care of Justin Fields. Expect a pretty easy dub here for the 49ers. Even if Trey Lance is to look sketchy, I don't think it's going to matter because Justin Fields is going to look equally as sketchy without a good supporting cast. So ultimately, I'd be shocked if the Niners were to lose this game, no matter how Trey Lance looks. Their defense alone should be able to get them the W here. What about you, Josh?
Wait, Zach, what if I say that the Bears are going to win?
You better have some good reasonings.
So I'm going to choose the Niners. I don't know why I would choose the Bears. I don't see any scenario where the Bears are winning unless Justin Fields just all of a sudden learns how to become an O-lineman and a receiver. So, yeah. Niners for the win.
Alright, our next matchup is actually kind of interesting. It's the Eagles-Lions. And I think that this matchup could be pretty good. But I'll talk about it a little later. Jack.
This one is closer than people realize it's going to be, but ultimately I still have to give the edge to the Eagles. Howie Roseman this offseason has put together one of the best rosters in football, and while there's the question mark of how much Jalen Hurts will be able to do, I think they're so talented they'll be able to beat the Lions. Lions can stay in this game offensively. I think they have the talent to do it, but ultimately I think their defense will have some trouble containing Jalen Hurts. Aiden Hutchinson's going to have his moments, of course, but I think ultimately this Eagles team is too talented. They're going to be able to lean on their run game potentially and be able to get the win here in a very competitive game because I do think Detroit is going to be at least a solid team this year, and I think they will be able to compete with teams like the Eagles, even with high-end rosters. What about you, Zach?
I have to give it to the Eagles, but it's going to be really close. I think like a field goal will win it. Because the Lions' defense is not bad. It's just the corners have a lot of questions, except for Warrior, I believe his name is. Other than that, I really like this Lions core. I think that Jared Goff should, if he improves a little bit more, they could be a really good team. It's just I want to see the improvement, and yeah, Eagles just have a really nice roster. So yeah, Eagles. Josh?
Lions are winning this game because look at how competitive they are at Hard Knocks. Dan Campbell has just breathed new life into this program that we have never seen before. And I am excited to see where the season goes. And I think that they start off with an upset win against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Alright, cool. Let me just fill in the last one of Lions, and we should be good to go for our next matchup. Alright. The next matchup is Saints Falcons. I'll hand this one off to Josh.
Saints Falcons, ooh. I gotta go Saints. I don't see anywhere where the Falcons have some sort of advantage. Maybe tight end. Maybe corner one. But that's it. Saints just have a better team compared to the Falcons. Zach?
I have to go Saints. They just have a well built roster that could, some people say, make the Super Bowl. Others, no. I think we're gonna have a clean sweep on Saints, but yeah, with the return maybe of Michael Thomas, that could be really nice. Jameis coming back, that's a big question mark, but there's so many question marks on Atlanta right now that I don't care how many question marks there are on New Orleans because of how bad Atlanta's going to be this year. What about you, Jack?
I also have to go with the Saints here. Falcons, they're just not constructed well enough to beat the Saints defense, which is relatively still intact from even their golden years. They've been able to keep it good through the last golden years. Jameis and Michael Thomas are definitely question marks, but Atlanta just lacks the outside playmakers to win this game. Yeah, they have Kyle Pitts, who's good. Cordell Patterson was solid. Don't know if he'll be able to repeat that kind of usage again. We'll see if they'll be able to get him to the level he was last year. But other than that, the receivers are just not there. I'm not sure what Drake London's situation is with the knee, if he'll play or not, or if that'll be 100%. And their quarterback is going to be Marcus Mariota, who hasn't started a game in 2 years. He's been on the Raiders. He's probably come in a couple times, but he's never been a full-time starter, not since his Tennessee days. So ultimately, I'm just not trusting a new team like the Falcons with an unproven quarterback and no receivers to beat an experienced defense like the New Orleans Saints. I have to take them here.
All right, cool. Our next matchup is the Packers-Vikings. Jack?
Ooh, this one's going to be good. It always feels like it's going to be good. But ultimately, I think I'm going to give in to the Vikings hype again. I'm going to pick them to beat the Packers here in Minnesota Week 1. They're just so talented. And while the Packers defense will definitely be able to keep up with them, they're a talented bunch as well. Ultimately, I have questions about how fast these receivers are going to get going for Aaron Rodgers. They're going to have to rely on that run game heavily until chemistry sort of fully comes into play for them. But ultimately, I believe in the Vikings a little more, though I could definitely see the Vikings losing this game in some creative fashion, like missing a field goal or some game-sealing pick six on a game-winning drive. They may lose creatively, but ultimately, I think Aaron Rodgers has got a lot of work to do with his new cast of supporting group, like mainly the receivers. I don't think he'll be able to beat the Vikings. The Vikings are super talented. I'll take them to win here in a close game. What about you, Josh?
I think I don't
Vikings.
I don't understand all this hype around Green Bay. I get they still have Aaron Rodgers, that he can make a moment happen at any time, but I don't see them as high as other people see them. I think that the Vikings are winning the division this year, and I'm going to go with my pick, the Minnesota Vikings. Zach?
I'm going Packers here. I don't really like saying it because I think the Vikings will win, but I think the Vikings might come in, not overconfident, but Vikings are running a rookie head coach. That's one problem already. The other problems is we don't know what the status is on corner, and Aaron Rodgers, even with a bad wide receiver core, I think he can still dot up a bad cornerback core, if I put that right. I think that pressure will get to him. A lot of their picks were really good. Lewis Seen should be good in the secondary for safety, but other than that, and Andrew Booth maybe will be good, but other than that, I don't really see a Vikings win unless just Jay Jetta, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, and Kirk Cousins just lead them to it with their offense. And I also think the Packers defense is a lot better than the Vikings is. So I'm going to go Packers, but that does not mean Packers are probably going to win the division. I just think that they'll get the win here. All right. Our next matchup is Buccaneers Cowboys. All right, cool. Josh.
I'm going to say Bucks. What have the Cowboys done? Sign a 40-year-old Jason Peters to actually look like they can be competitive with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't see any move that the Cowboys have made that shows that they've gotten stronger and the Buccaneers have gotten weaker. Besides maybe the centers situations, that is it. I don't see anywhere else where the Cowboys could even remotely be close to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jack?
I also have to go Bucks here. I can get into the Bucks offense versus the Cowboys defense, but I think the Bucks will be able to win on that side of the ball no matter what. And the big difference here is going to be Bucks defense and their good pass rush and core versus the Cowboys new and improved. Well, I don't want to say improved because it is definitely not improved. New and not so improved offensive line. They just got together for the first week. They lost 3 starters, and Shaq Barrett's going to be staring them down. I think the Bucks pass rush alone can take care of business here. And I do think that the Bucks offense will also have production on the other side. But I think the Bucks defense is going to be overwhelming to that new offensive line for this first week. And I think it's going to be really hard for Dallas to win against a really good, still intact Bucks Super Bowl level defense. What about you, Zach?
I have to say Bucks. Honestly, their front 7 is super lethal. And they don't have Ndamukong, I don't think, anymore. But they still have really nice pieces. Devin White is a really nice piece when he has to rush. Vita Vea is back. That guy is a menace. Jack Barrett, like Jack said. There's just so many good pieces on that front 7 that are just gonna push this team to a win, even if Brady has a bad game. Because there's for the Cowboys, they don't have a good old line. With this, it's gonna lead to I don't know, bad stuff, because Jack just said that they actually been working together for a week now. So yeah. Alright, and finally our last matchup, which is gonna be Monday Night Football. It is a revenge match for there is someone starting that is actually a revenge match. There's 2 people. Be a revenge match for Russell Wilson, and it's also gonna be for what the hell is that tight end's name?
Noah Fant.
Noah
Fant. There we go. Thank you, Jack.
And don't forget about Drew Lock on the sideline.
Hey, we're not talking about him. He's just the guy who's on the sideline. He'll probably be rapping. All right. Still, with this, I'm gonna say the Broncos in a blowout because Geno Smith isn't too good. The defense, they don't got anybody that could cover Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton. That's gonna be really hard to cover those 2 guys. They know how Russ plays, but they can't stop it. Yeah, Geno's such a bad quarterback that I think that it will just lead to a lot of mistakes. And then having Jamal try to cover, if he tries to cover Cortland Sutton, it's not gonna work. So, with all that in mind, yeah, it's going to be a rough season, Seahawks. So, yeah, Broncos with the win. Heck.
I also have to go with the Broncos here. A lot of revenge game for Russ, for Noah Fant, for Shelby Harris, if he made the roster. I haven't double-checked for the Seahawks. But ultimately, I know there's new stuff in Denver, but it doesn't really matter. This Seattle team is not good. They lost a bunch of starters in the secondary. The only person that can really cover back there is Quandre Diggs at this point. Maybe Jamal Adams gets some victory sack for his stat line, but there's not going to be a lot going on that side of the ball. Russ will be able to handle them. On the other side of the ball, Geno Smith versus a new and improved Broncos D that's looking sharp. Should be able to get the job done. I don't expect much from the Seahawks, especially to start. Geno Smith is, he's Geno Smith. He's been a backup for years now. It's even worse than Marcus Mariota, who's only been a backup for 2-3 years. Geno Smith has been solidified backup for a long time now. They didn't really address quarterback. This could get ugly for Seattle really fast. They really just flat out don't have anybody that's even in the top 32 quarterbacks in this league right now. It is not pretty for them, and it's going to be a long season. I'm taking the Broncos. What about you, Josh?
Well, I got to go with the Broncos. I really feel like the NFL, they started out so well with the Rams versus Bills, but they're just falling flat on their face with these next 2 primetime matchups. And it's going to be a blowout. And I don't even see a reality where the Seahawks are even close to the Broncos.
Okay. Well, yeah. That kind of does it for our stream today. If you disagree with any of them, when the stream's over, you guys can comment down below what we're wrong about. If you have your own opinions on a certain game, say the Jets are gonna beat the Ravens or
The Seahawks are going to beat the Broncos.
if you could come up with a Bears reason, I'm okay. I would love to see that in the comments. But if you can't, it's alright. If you like our content, you should hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We do these weekly, and you'll probably see us doing a lot more predictions this month because football is back, and we are super excited. I think all of us are going to be really enjoying the Thursday game, except for me, because I got some stuff to do that day. So, yeah. We'll see you guys next time.
Right, that'll end the stream. Here's the matchups. We'll update this playoff predictor once a week, and we'll see what we get at the end. But we'll be back here next week for more predictions and potentially news. See you then.